Well, we were able to check it by.
Boom. Well, it looks like
by-
it's working now.
Yeah.
Great. Is the light good? Did you?
Yeah, it's good.
Sweet. Hey there, guys. Welcome back to the Basic Podcast. That's Matt.
That's Eli.
And, shit, I had stuff to say. Dang, I had stuff lined up to talk about.
Well, take a second.
It's been 10 years since I've been here. I know I kind of touched on this at work, but it's been 10 years since I've lived in Tennessee.
Yeah.
And that's like kind of a big
Milestone.
Yeah, because I'm 18. I've officially lived 2 more years in Tennessee than I did in South Dakota.
Yeah.
So that's pretty. This pillow is in my way. So a lot of stuff happened this week/weekend. Not specifically with us, but like the world.
Yeah, a lot of big stuff.
Like E3 happened, the big, what was it, electronic something. What does that stand for?
I actually don't know. I just games.
What does that? Okay, never mind. Anyways, I don't know what that convention stands for, but games. It was pretty big. What was it, Friday to Wednesday?
Yeah.
And they had a lot of stuff, man.
Thinking about the Markiplier meme.
You're thinking about the E meme? Damn it, Matt.
That's how E3 got started. It's
From
like
the
that,
E
but
meme?
squared, but 3.
It's just a cube of Markiplier E. Well, a lot of the developers, game developers, came out with really cool stuff, but especially Bethesda.
Bethesda really took E3 home,
They really
in
did.
my opinion. I don't even, honestly, a lot of the other, I don't even know another game company really getting talked about after E3.
Yeah. All the news is filled up with Bethesda. Maybe it's just my Google search quota, because that's all I look for is Bethesda.
I mean, same, but I normally at least see some headlines for other. I really didn't see a lot.
Assassin's Creed Odyssey looked like it was pretty big, but then again, they were talking about that 4 weeks ago.
Yeah.
So, because somebody leaked EA's stuff again. So,
Yeah.
but Bethesda talked about Fallout 76, their new game Starfield. Was it Starfield? And then Elder Scrolls Online. No.
No.
Elder Scrolls 6.
Yeah.
I was thinking online because Fallout 76 is going to be online. So.
And then you've got Rage 2,
Did
Doom.
you see the stuff from that performance?
Yeah.
It was
So, like, they pretty much gave their whole plan.
well, yeah.
And they were, like, out of the shadows now. Like,
Because
there's-
they've been quiet for like 4 years.
Yeah, 4 years pretty much of pure silence aside from Wolfenstein and Doom, I guess. They haven't
Because
really.
id and Machine Games have been on top of helping with those shooters, and then they're like, hey, remember how we were going to do our
But I'm
games?
glad. I'm really glad to see the company coming back into the spotlight.
Is there nobody else that works on Fallout and Elder Scrolls except them?
Just them.
I never really noticed, but when you start up the games, it's just Bethesda Softworks. It's not
Yeah.
Bethesda Softworks and
They
Machine
have
Games and id or something.
No
like that.
outsourcing there. He talked about. Like, I'm pretty sure you didn't watch the whole thing either.
Todd Howard talked about
Yeah.
that.
Because there were parts that I showed you, and you're like, oh, I didn't know he said that. He was talking about just how big their personal branch has gotten. That Bethesda Studios now has 3 different locations worldwide that work cohesively.
Yeah, I watched the thing. Pete Hines was talking about that. What is he, the co-director or something?
Yeah.
Yeah. But they came out with some really big stuff. There's like a few games that you're like, oh, okay, this developer is trying to do something this year. But Bethesda was like everything they talked about you wanted to be there for. Because
Yeah.
Rage 2 even looked amazing.
Well, there's one unit, I guess, that I didn't know that they were affiliated with that I'll be honest, I'm not excited about. And I thought it was the worst speech and lineup that was given, and that was Quake.
Quake?
Yeah. I didn't know that I don't know that they don't personally make it, but it's part of their franchise, I'm assuming.
I heard them
But
talking about QuakeCon. Is that what that is?
yeah, yeah. Quake was like the first, I guess, professional competitive shooter, and it's really old. It's an ancient game that was brought back, in the recent years a little bit. As far as popularity goes, it's kind of off the deep end.
Yeah. Like I barely even know what you're talking about. So
It's
I think
old.
that-
It's older than I'm a few years older than you, and it was old when I was a kid.
I mean, if I saw pictures of it or something, I'd be
Yeah.
like, oh, okay, I know what that is.
like the first he comes out with the headline and Quake obviously, and he started like giving these like compliments to the game and as far as Quake goes, it's like the fastest paced, funnest shooter you've ever been able to find, and still today it still holds true to that. I'm like, fastest paced, funnest shooter. It sounded cringy.
To be honest, Bethesda's first-person shooters have been the funnest ones I've played in a very
Yeah.
long time. And I know you haven't been into like Doom or Wolfenstein, but
Yeah.
I can tell you I've had so much fun playing them. And looking at like I've never really heard of Rage, like the first one. But when they're talking about Rage 2 and I'm seeing the stuff they're doing, like id's software of how they do their first-person shooters, it's really good. And I know how that stuff feels in Doom and Wolfenstein, and
Well,
I
I'll
would
tell you,
genuinely
I
play it.
played Rage, the first Rage. I don't even remember how or why, but I really enjoyed it, and I thought it was a really good game. It wasn't open world, and I'm a big fan of open world games, and I still enjoyed it. And Rage 2 is going to be completely open world.
I mean, Doom isn't open world. Wolfenstein isn't open world either, but
Well, I'm trying to think of this one game. The best way for me to describe, I don't know if you like this other game, Rage, at least the first one was. Do you know the game Borderlands?
I've heard of it, but like whenever I start being curious about it, like I just don't hear anything else about it.
Borderlands, I played the first game, and it's the best way to describe the first one was, okay, you know Diablo? We used to play that at my house. Imagine Diablo as a first-person shooter,
Okay.
and kind of like a desert Mad Max type thing.
Yeah.
That's pretty much Borderlands. There's a lot of looting in the system, a lot of mobs and spawns.
From what I've seen, it's got a very different art style and art
Yeah.
direction, but
And Rage, the first Rage was a mix between Borderlands and Mad Max, essentially. And that's kind of, it seems to still be kind of like that's how they're going to take it,
Yeah.
which is to be expected. But I'll probably play it.
so I guess other than Bethesda, there's EA coming up with new Assassin's Creed Odyssey, and then there's they were coming out with new content for the second Battlefront, but they're doing Clone Wars stuff now. And honestly, I've been expecting that. That sounds really cool.
Yeah.
But everybody's kind of on Star Wars Battlefront 2 because of the whole in-game purchases stuff they had to deal with. But yeah, Fallout 76 looks really good. Like, we don't look like we're hyped, but we're very hyped. It comes out in November, right? November 14th? Was it?
Yeah. I
14th?
think it's 14th.
Well, it's somewhere around there, but if you don't know, it's a prequel to all the other Fallout games, including Fallout and Fallout Tactics and Fallout 2. The point and click ones, and it's like you get to play in a giant open world apparently that's 4 times bigger than the previous game's map, and there's so many different elements to it, and it just sounded like a really exciting new
And
thing
I'm
for
hyped.
Bethesda to do.
I mean, any Bethesda game I'm going to be excited for. Like, those are the only games that I'm for the most part, that I'll be just jumping at the chance to get.
Like they're the one person that you're like, it's that cringy meme from Futurama where he holds out his wallet and says, "Take my money." That's a really good. That's a really good show, by the way. Have you ever seen a lot of
I've
that?
watched them all. It goes in the second, I think, first or second of my all-time favorite animated TV shows.
Yeah, same.
Much better than The Simpsons. It should have out-survived The Simpsons.
It really should have. I mean, I haven't seen a lot of The Simpsons, so I don't
Like
think I
The
have
Simpsons they have the legacy behind them, which they're like the cornerstone of that developers. Like I don't know if you know, but they're made by the same person.
Yeah, I know though.
So that's kind of like what started him and where most of his loyalty lies, I'm assuming. And Futurama never picked up as popular, but
They took like the whole first 5 seasons off of Netflix, and that made me kind of sad.
yeah, they used to
I mean,
have them all.
To be fair, 6 is when it really picked up, and they got like better animators and all this stuff, and it looked
Oh, you can tell when it gets
it
better.
looked a lot better after 6, but still 5 has all the way up to 5 has some really good character building episodes that you're like, oh, that's why they're like this.
Yeah.
So it's. Anyways, if I'm talking weird, it's because I have retainers in my mouth. I got my braces off, but right after they're like, hey, come on back and put these 2 massive plates on top of your mouth and on the bottom of your mouth, so it'll be hard to talk and do basically anything. So.
Yeah, so that's gotta suck.
Yeah, I mean, it really sucked the first day because it was like all up in my gag reflex, and I was like, could you please just get out? But I think I have a pretty good tolerance, and I just kind of
Earned
well, I
an earned tolerance.
well, not from what you think, Matt, but because because I've had a lot of equipment in my mouth.
That really doesn't make it sound any better.
Okay, I've been wearing braces for like 4 or 5 years. Anyways, so yeah, there's that. So Kim Jong-un's getting rid of those nukes, huh?
We'll see. I mean, I personally think that I think a decent alliance will probably be formed. Whether he gets rid of the nukes, I mean, I don't know. But it went well. I mean, did you look up some of the clips from it?
I've seen, like, we watch CBS. Like, we don't have a lot of TV stuff out here, but we have CBS. And I've seen a lot of the coverage for it. But I was surprised when I was hearing him talk about how he trusts Kim now,
Yeah.
Donald. And I was like, wow. So it must
Well, a
be
lot of
something.
people are in the dark about who he is, I think. Not Donald Trump, but Kim. Like, obviously don't know him, but, I mean, there's indicators of how he actually is.
Yeah.
Now, I'm sure that he's done and been responsible for horrible things,
Yeah.
and he's, a dictator to a starving country. So there's definitely people dying on his watch, which isn't good, obviously for anyone. But at the same time, this guy is someone who he got his education mostly in European countries. He was educated in a developed country.
Yeah.
He's not gonna be someone who's outsourced from the world so much that he doesn't really know how things are.
Yeah. Did you ever see that movie with James Franco and Seth Rogen?
The Dictator, or
It was called The Interview.
that's it, yeah.
So you watched that?
Yes,
I mean, it's rated R. and
for
to be-
good reasons.
for good reasons. So if you're under 18 and 17 in some states, please don't watch it. But basically, these 2 guys get sent. What is he? James Franco's character is like a news.
He
He has like a talk
Yeah.
show, and they find out that Kim Jong Un basically is doing, or planning to, obviously trying to nuke people, and and Kim Jong Un is in love with James Franco's talk show. So him and Seth Rogen are sent by the president to assassinate Kim Jong Un, and for good reason. Kim Jong Un had it banned in North America or North Korea, and like it was only in select theaters. But overall, it was kind of funny. But James Franco
Yeah.
and Seth Rogen have a weird sense of humor, so it was like, okay. But if we actually get nuked, it's a problem, guys.
Like, there was a translator at the meetings and stuff. I'm
Yeah.
not sure that, I'm sure that Trump doesn't know how to speak Korean, but I'm almost 90% certain.
That Kim can speak English.
Yes.
Yeah.
So they might have been translating to some degree, but I'm pretty sure
Well, maybe he can understand English,
Yeah.
but he just doesn't know how to speak
Yeah.
it.
But it seemed to go smoothly. I mean, it seemed pretty casual.
Did you see that comment that Kim said where he was like, "This is something out of a science fiction movie"? Like I was thinking that watching any of the footage from the missiles and stuff, but I'd never said it.
Yeah.
And then like he says that to Donald, and I was like, ah, so he does know how big of a thing this is.
Well, what was it? So I always with this it actually going down and going into place. I think back to that one tweet that, because they had we're going back and forth. Like
Yeah.
Kim Jong doesn't have a Twitter, but North Korea would respond as pretty much a whole to Trump.
About was it the big red button tweet?
I don't want to mix them because I know they had Trump had a few that incorporated him,
Yeah.
but I want to say it went can someone please tell this such and such from his poverty-stricken country that I have a nuclear button as well, and it's much bigger. and
A much bigger button.
and then it's like period, comma, I try so hard to be his friend. Oh well, maybe one day that will happen.
Right after he was like, "Can someone tell this stupid little man?"
I try so hard to be his friend. Maybe one day that'll happen.
Well, if all goes well, it will happen.
Yeah.
Because they seem to be okay now, I guess.
Well,
I don't
they
know.
actually made a video for North Korea and Kim Jong. I don't know if you know about it. The White House actually made and directed about what they want, kind of out of what's going forward. And they kind of pitched for North Korea to become kind of civilized.
Yeah. Like, are we gonna help them?
Yeah.
Become better?
Like
Okay.
that kind of thing. It's kind of like what I think we're going to want to, or trying to offer them is more a developed, civilized nation.
Does anybody actually know how true a lot of the stuff over there is? Like, if people are actually just constantly starving, or
Well, it's mostly barren, and pretty much unless you just have some form of natural money, as rare as that can be. If you're not in the military, you're poor.
but like we know this for sure.
Yeah.
That it's like this. Okay.
And there are things that go over there like acting and it's not all just cut and dry.
Yeah.
But for the most part it is pretty bad.
Like I always just assume that they were like, I like to assume it's just rumors and speculation before I just be like, oh, these people are starving to death. Like I don't believe everyone in Africa is starving to death.
Yeah.
You know how everybody just associates with, oh, those kids in Africa don't have anything to eat. But like at the same time, I didn't know if any of this was actually true stuff, so I never would say it. But do you know how South Korea does with their when they were at odds with the propaganda stuff they would do?
No.
I read this news thing. Okay, so I have some friends who are kind of into K-pop, South Korean pop, but basically what South Korea was doing was they don't have the funds well, they have funds, but they don't have a big enough army, and they don't have a lot of good defense stuff. So they put a lot of their government funds into entertainment.
Yeah.
So they have all these K-drama and all this music industry that they do. And it was funny because I knew sort of some of this, and then one day I saw on my news feed, because some of my friends do K-pop, and honestly I don't think it's as bad as people say it is.
Yeah.
And my friends will be like, "Oh, you're so stupid," But some of it's not bad.
Yeah.
But South Korea put giant speakers on the border and was blasting K-pop into North Korea. And it was true. I saw it on the news right
Yeah.
after I read it. I was like, no way. But they just were. I thought that was kind of funny.
Well, unbelievable headlines are becoming more and more real every day.
It's weird.
Like, just today I saw a meme page post Trump getting ready to pardon hip-hop members in prison.
I know.
And I'm like, oh, that could just be a meme. Let me look it up.
Yeah, because people will make fake stuff all the time.
Next thing, I look it up. Oh, this is on real news sites.
Have you seen that one? It's Elon Musk tweeting, "Why is traffic a problem?
Yeah.
Just keep driving."
I wondered if that was
And
a
it said
real
traffic
one.
rates, traffic rates go down to 0.
Well, yeah, I actually wondered if that was a real tweet by him.
I don't think so. It looked really off.
I mean, yeah, it did, but I thought about looking it up just because I could actually see him saying that.
That traffic is stupid. Just keep driving. Yeah.
I mean, if you're being honest with yourself, that's all it takes.
Kind of, but people get in your way. You slow down.
Well, the person
behind you
getting in
slows
your
down.
way should just be driving.
Yeah. Everybody go like 20 miles over and we're good. Though, like, if you have a crash and it blocks the entire highway, then obviously that's a problem. But
Just keep driving, man. Just drive right through it.
just wait till Elon gets those traffic tunnels.
Yeah.
Have you seen those prototypes?
Mhm.
That's really cool. He needs to come back in the spotlight. Where he been, man?
Working.
He better be working. Yeah, those headlines though. It's really weird stuff.
I mean, the world's just turning into like a universal meme.
It is. It's like did you see the thing with Millie Bobby Brown?
Yeah. She's leaving
It's
social
like,
media.
This meme went around where, if you guys don't know, this meme went around where people would take pictures of her Snapchat or like something she'd post somewhere and put these really homophobic. I personally think it's hilarious.
Yeah, I do too.
But I can see how it's a bullying thing.
For her, I can.
Yeah, but like
As a joke, I think it's funny.
I think it's a funny joke. But they would put these things like, ugh, if I saw two people kissing, I would throw this cup at them or something like that. Or two gay people kissing. And like, she got really upset about, I mean, obviously there's more vulgar words in some of these memes than that, but that's the basic gist of it. Well, it's like those words and her smiling with a McDonald's drink or something, and then apparently she left Twitter. Was it only Twitter?
She left everything, if I'm not mistaken. I'm sure obviously you can just put your account right back up. She'll probably come back later.
I mean, how many people were DMing her these that she had to be like, oh no, and leave? Like,
I mean, maybe not a lot, actually. She probably just saw them herself and was like, wow, I'm not really like this.
I saw a caption on one of those posts where it showed the news thing where she actually leaves Twitter and all this, and the guy was like, people underestimate the power of the meme community.
Yeah.
And in a way, he's right. They do, because
Oh, yeah, they've done a lot. Without no meme community, you wouldn't have Donald Trump as president.
true.
Almost guaranteed.
I believe that.
It was memes that elected Trump.
And it's memes that are going to free Bobby Shmurda.
And it's memes that are bringing North Korea to denuclearization.
For real, though? I kind of think it's true.
Trump slid him some dank memes.
It's
He
like,
was like, oh.
they're making these memes about us being friends. I think it could be true. He goes, me too. And they just big old bro hug,
And
and
then
then everything's good.
They play Fortnite until the sun rises.
Wow.
So speaking of Fortnite,
Oh no.
this is actually pretty funny.
Okay, go ahead.
I was with my grandma, before I came over here,
Yeah.
and there was some Father's Day commercial about what to get Dad, and it was a Target commercial, and there was like, they went by the game section or video game section,
Yeah.
And Kay made a joke like, "Yeah, get Dad an Xbox for Father's Day, of course." And then my grandma's like, I saw this game on the news recently that you might like to play. Apparently, it has a lot of followers."
These are exact words.
Yeah. I think it was called Frontline.
Frontline.
And I'm like, Fortnite? Yeah, that's it.
Did she say what the headline was about?
I think it was just probably just indicating how successful it's gotten. And
I mean,
making
'cause
waves.
They got a crap ton of people playing it on Switch the first day.
Yeah,
So
over 2 million.
that's a lot of people.
So I was like, I had to tell her I was already playing.
Well, I got it.
Yeah, I can't believe Sony's still holding out of the arrangement. Do you know about that? What's going on there?
Yeah, they're
It's
not-
worse than I thought it was.
like they're trying to do this cross-platform play thing, right?
So like with Xbox you can play on anything aside from PlayStation.
Yeah, you can play with other
Yeah.
players.
On other
So
platforms.
If they're on Xbox, if they're on mobile, if they're on Switch, you can
or
play with
PC.
them. Or PC.
Sony's the only one who's opted out, and with Sony you can play with PC and mobile players, but that's it.
Yeah.
So with the cross-platform thing, like there's being not a
And this is exclusively for Fortnite.
yeah,
Yeah.
there's not allowing cross-platform, and then there's also taking it a step further. And I didn't know that they had taken it a step further.
What was the step further?
So like you know how your Epic account and your Fortnite and all that is all linked?
Yeah.
Well, so if you start your account on Xbox, it's like rooted, like you can unroot it.
Mm-hmm.
I guess I don't know, but so for PlayStation that's like not the case. So like let's say you spent like
I think I heard you talking to Zach
like
about this.
200 hours on a PlayStation Fortnite account,
Yeah.
and you got a Switch. I understand like not doing cross-platform, but you can't even log into your account on Switch.
You have to play a whole new account, is what.
Yeah.
Yeah. Stupid.
Like that's just going too far. That's like absolutely ludicrous.
Sony, just make Spider-Man game
And quit.
and quit. I mean, I'm not saying and quit, but like I've played, like I grew up on PlayStation 2, so I have like this kind of love for
Yeah.
that just specific, and the games I played, and I know why PlayStation is a good console. I'm not saying it's
Just give the people like their accounts the freedom.
Yeah.
If you don't do cross-platform, that's one thing. But if you're gonna burn someone's progress,
make the world a better place by just cooperating with people. This is the problem with the world. They just don't cooperate.
I mean, they put out a response this time.
Did they give a valid reason why they aren't
No,
doing
the
it?
internet is making fun of them and tearing them up for the response they gave. The response was like 2 paragraphs, but it generally read, "We care about what fans have to say,
Do you?
and we've provided opportunities for them to play with one another, and have a nice day." That was pretty much 2 paragraphs of BS, but those were the 2 main statements.
Wow.
Essentially, we care about what you have to say, and we already gave you the options to play with PC and mobile players. You ought to be fortunate enough for that, you ungrateful punks.
It's like you you cheat on your girl and she kicks you out, and then you go, "Honey, like the way it happened was an accident," and then she's like, "I care about what you have to say." Boom! Get out.
Yeah.
I've never done that.
Well, that's good. You've never had a house to kick someone out of.
Yeah. I meant that I've never cheated on somebody,
Okay.
but that's actually a lie. That's why I said
Have they ever had a house to kick you out of?
no.
Well, there you go.
Gang. Wow. I'm excited for Fallout 76.
Elder Scrolls 6 all the way.
But you're still excited for Fallout 76.
Yeah, I am.
I know you are. Because we'll actually be able to.
I mean, I'm gonna play the hell out of that game probably.
Yeah.
But like Elder Scrolls 6, taking a week off work. No joke.
You'll get missing your friends after 3 days.
You don't even understand this game's allegiance.
All right. I guess I shouldn't say anything because I haven't played Skyrim, and I haven't played a lot of Oblivion. But
Skyrim is much more suited for you than Oblivion. I can guarantee you that.
you think so?
Oh, absolutely. If you played it, you'd probably be crazy into it.
I think I would.
If you
'Cause-
still play, if you get I think it's the remastered or definitive edition,
Yeah.
it still holds like very well with modern day or current games as far as graphics and everything else.
Yeah. It's. I'm not saying it doesn't look bad or anything.
I think if you haven't played Skyrim, I think all it would take you is literally the first 10 minutes, and you'd be hooked.
I've seen footage of the first 10 minutes, and I was like, hey, looks pretty cool. But then you've got people who've modded the game so that the dragons aren't dragons,
Yeah.
and that's.
You don't have to play like that.
I mean, it's pretty funny. Man, I'm on a budget now. It's sad. It sucks. But it's necessary, I guess.
Well, yeah, it's necessary.
I mean, obviously. But I've got to go to Africa at the end of August. Well, I chose to, so I'm going. And I need to have like $3,000 to pay for the whole thing by that time. So I have to not spend any money. And then here I am going to see The Incredibles with you guys. Speaking of The Incredibles, I'm pumped for that as well.
Yeah, a lot of good stuff coming out.
Yeah. What is it?
All around the same time. This is like a good time.
They're like, hey, the last 3 years have been really, really terrible. How about some good stuff? And they just slide a plate of two cakes that are just topped
No, it's been
perfectly.
hot. Like every sector's been hot for me. All my main life sectors has been really hot on content.
You mean good hot? Or?
Yeah. Like a lot of the games I want to come out are coming out. Like rap I'm starting to get a lot of good music coming out.
Mm-hmm.
That it's been a drought for a long time. It's been a lot better this year. It's only getting better. Movies have been good.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty much in all the entertainment departments.
Mostly this year has been pretty good.
It's really solid.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yep. Can't wait. When are we going tomorrow?
Yeah.
So how long has it been? 14 years since.
I looked it up last night or a few nights ago. I think it's 14.
Damn. Has it really been that long?
Dude, I was thinking about Skyrim and stuff,
Yeah.
and waiting for the next Elder Scrolls. Skyrim came out in 2011,
It came out before Fallout 4, so yeah.
which is ages ago.
Didn't
man.
Fallout 4 come out in 2014?
I want to say 15,
Really?
but yeah. Well,
Dang.
I'd say definitely 15.
Excitement. I love how I'm so excited, but I'm sitting here and I sound like a dork because
Bro, when
today's been a long day.
I was watching, yeah, you're not lying. Those Elder Scrolls reactions that people were having, they were screaming, tears were flying, those kinds of reactions.
Yeah.
I was watching the live stream hoping to catch it,
Mm-hmm.
but I kept on going back and forth, not really.
So you missed it.
I missed it on the live stream, but after it was done, I was like, let's just recap and search.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, oh, they did announce it.
Because people post those videos right after,
Yeah.
GameSpot.
So there was a
IGN.
point where I was on the couch with Kay, and I thought it was about to be announced. And I'm like, Kay, fair warning, I might jump off this couch any second and just start screaming.
She's just over there. Okay. I can see her just on the other couch.
And it wasn't announced at that
Was
point.
it Starfield? What
I
was
think no, they played the Elder Scrolls one directly after that. I think it was that Blades game.
I thought they talked about Blades earlier on.
No, I know what it was. It was, I expected it at the same time, so I wasn't. It was when they first announced Fallout, or was announcing it at E3 when they were doing the Fallout 76.
Mm-hmm.
He kind of had a prelude to it. Oh, right after the special edition.
It was the special edition. Yeah.
Very special edition, Skyrim.
That was a really funny sketch.
He was like, he made a few jokes, and he's like, roll the clip. And I was expecting the Elder Scrolls trailer. Because he didn't prelude anything to Fallout right after that.
Yeah.
He transitioned straight from Skyrim Very Special Edition to roll a clip, so I was like, this is it.
Todd the God Howard, man. There's just something about the way he presents things. It's just so much better than any other game director.
It's funny. It's this sense of humor about it.
Yeah. And it's just like...
Like, we've all seen I think you've seen it. Have you ever watched any YouTube interviews of him about the chess club joke? Do you know the chess club joke?
No.
So, it's weird that it's funny because it's just all about odd timing. But it's this clip where he's getting interviewed about him becoming successful in a gaming director and everything.
Yeah.
And they're like, so, did kids used to mess with you and all that? And he's like, I can't do it word for word. It's definitely better if you watch it, but it's something about, yeah, I got picked on a lot. I was, for being a nerd and all this stuff. And they were always like, you're a loser. You're never going to do anything. And this was when Oblivion was coming out.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, well, who's laughing now? And then it's like a sigh, and it's like, but I was in the chess club. Like right after that.
So, I've seen a meme where it was oh, Bethesda's not doing anything this year, blah blah blah, and then Fallout 76 and Elder Scrolls 6 and Starfield, and then he's got a gun. Who's laughing now?
So yeah, that's one of his cornerstone phrases. But if you just Google Todd Howard Chess Club, you'll definitely get the clip.
But I was in the chess club. Man, I'd love to meet that guy. He sounds like a really cool guy to just sit and talk about games with. What I think is cool and different about Bethesda is like the way they talk about, like they don't say, "Oh, I came up with this." They're like, "Our team." They say our team.
Yeah, they do say that about everything.
Teams. And I thought that was really cool because they say that our teams make the kind of games that they want to play.
They seem really cohesive.
Yeah.
Or actually, it's an old video.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure it's better now, but it was the Bethesda studio at the time near post Fallout 3 and Oblivion, I want to say. It was an in-depth.
After Morrowind?
No, after Oblivion and Fallout 3. Around that time that I saw the video, they were. It was a YouTube video where someone was going around the office and showing what it's like there, and it was crazy nice. It's like a Google type place. Wow. Like the employees are getting 2-hour-long lunches. There's a gym in the place. There's a personal chef in the place. That kind of thing.
I drove by somewhere one time and I saw a big old building that said Bethesda on the side, and I couldn't. Like, I wasn't that into Bethesda at the time, but I recognized that it was a game studio, and I didn't see, like, Softworks.
Yeah.
But I was like, is that the Bethesda place? And I wasn't aware that they have multiple places, so I was like, no, probably not.
Yeah.
But they're really cool.
It would be nice.
Screw you, New Vegas. No, I'm just kidding. Patrick really likes New Vegas. He's going to yell at me for that.
Some people preferred it. I mean, it was a good installment, but I didn't prefer it.
I don't prefer it either, but
like I had fun playing it.
To each his own. Wow, it's been 39.5. No, I can't count, math. 40 minutes. Is there anything else we want to talk about? Anything else you need to talk about? You having problems in your life, Matt? It's been, what, 2 weeks?
I mean, the biggest pair of problems I've had, I guess. So I ordered some really expensive sweatpants. And they didn't fit, and I sent them back. And I got more expensive sweatpants at a discount, and they fit just how I wanted.
So that was a problem that was resolved.
Yeah.
Okay. I thought you were going to say, like, you know, the only problem you had was...
I dropped serious dough on these sweatpants.
Okay. I thought you might say something as a joke like, oh, the only problem I've had was my crack addiction, but that's fine, you know.
Like, I've always contemplated blowing just insane amount of money on sweatpants. I did it.
Why? Why on sweatpants,
There's
though?
just something about it, bro.
Just something about the absurdity of spending all this money on sweatpants?
I spend more time in sweatpants than I do any other pants.
That's true. Like, now that you're talking about it.
So I'm like, I might as well get the best sweatpant you can buy. And I feel like I did that.
Yeah.
These are next level sweatpants.
I believe you. I mean, I'm not going to try them
You'll
on
get
for
to
myself.
see them. Eventually.
You're going to wear them at work?
Sometime. Probably not anytime soon. It's always 90 plus degrees.
I know.
And I prefer shorts in that weather.
It's unbearable at work right now. Unless you're just sitting behind a fan the whole time. But Spock bought a new fan on the other side of the station. Do you see it?
Yeah.
Should we end it?
Yep.
All right. Well, what did you just do? Like, drop your mic. Thank y'all for in my 10 years of living here, the only thing I've picked up is the y'all.
It's understandable. It's an easy
I used to patronize
carries.
I used to patronize everybody for saying y'all.
It carries easily, so it makes sense.
Ugh. Scoff at all of you Southern people. That was a joke. Love you. Thanks for watching the podcast. Anything we need to plug?
Stay tuned. Big things are coming. Streams.
Oh, yes. Stay tuned. My mind went blank for like a whole minute. I was like, well, what are you doing? Yeah. Stay tuned. Hopefully I can figure out this podcast on other platforms thing. I'm looking into it.
Yeah, we've got this device called the Rip Shart.
You're full of shit.
So is the Rip Shart.
It's because you don't know how to use it. We'll see you next time. We're actually going to do a podcast next week, right?
Yes.
Okay, good. I have to like pound you to do a podcast with me.
Well, you've got the equipment, I guess.
I have all the equipment. It's sad. All right, well, we'll see you next time. Thanks for watching. That's Matt.
That's Eli.
And see you around. Ka-chow. Was I supposed to say something else?
Lightning McQueen.
Lightning McQueen.